It's always exciting at the beginning. Welcome everybody. Master Spas live Wednesday, 4 o'clock. Let's see if we got some people on here. My mother on first. Hi Mama, love you. Could we get a sound check from someone, please? Susan, what's going on?
Hi, Susan.
Susan, how's that camera angle? Michael, wow, Mike Wright on first. Mike Wright's usually on a phone call right now, and he doesn't catch it until later. Sound is good, Mama said.
Okay,
all right.
Good. Cool.
All right. Hi, everybody. All right, we got 15 people. Sound is good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Zach. Why do I feel like I'm going to get picked on today looking at the crowd on here? Okay, so today's live. John, what's up? We'll wait a second. We'll let a few more people. All right, sound is good. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll let a few more people hop on. Sean, what's up? Melanie, all right. 41 people. Sandra, hello. I always love watching.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, it's always cool. And you know what? If you're on here, say hello and say where you're calling from or where you're watching from, because I love to go back and see. You know, we get them all over the place, but say hi from Kansas, hi from Poland, and we get lots of good ones on there. It's always fun to see.
Yeah.
So we like to see everyone hop up. There's already 55 people watching. That's cool.
It's very cool.
So our record is like
160?
No, 110.
Oh, okay.
110. Joe, what's happening? All right. So I think we can get started here.
Yeah.
So this is what's going on today. Today is going to be about rehab, different movements in here. You know, we have this when you purchase a swim spa, at least from us, you get this H2 exercise book, and it's really awesome. There's tons of stuff in there, and I mean, and we do this stuff all the time. So you know, we forget what's in there. So today we went through and kind of picked some favorite movements, and none of these movements are designed to, you know, wear you out. So today we're talking about rehab, fixing things, you know, mobility issues, because that's probably the biggest segment of, you know, swim spas prior to this Corona-19, because now people are they're on fire. They can't get swim spas fast enough. They can't get them in. Nothing is fast enough. They want them yesterday. They don't care what they're doing in them. They just want a swim spa at the house, and it's freaking nuts. Okay, so but normally, Jarrett, my man, everyone, is the most handsome man in hot tubs. Okay, he is number one. All right. So you know, I'm gonna hear about that.
You totally opened
It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's totally worth it. So anyway, so today is the rehab, is the gentle stuff, some of the stretching, some of the reasons why the water is better, and that stuff. Back to some of the basics. Richard Markovich. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. So we've got our cheat board over there, as you can see. We're going to demonstrate some things. We're going to take some questions. We have some questions. Do we have? Are those 8 questions or 8 questions from one person?
8 questions from one person, and then there's a couple of other questions from other people.
Okay, so we have one very interested person who wrote 8 questions. We're gonna address all of those, and then we got a few others too. And then if we see them up there during the live, we'll get to them. If we need to go back afterwards, obviously we're kind of on there all night long. And then after tonight, what ends up happening is if you comment on there and we don't see it, then everyone at Master yells at us.
We try to get everybody.
I think his name was Joe, asked, "Are you a one-stop shop?" And then it scrolled up, and I can't see the question anymore. So we'll get back to that one later, Joe. All right. So how tall are y'all? Barbara, I love it. I love it. I can hear your voice in your words there. Neither of us are tall people.
I'm 4'10",
and I'm 5'8". So we are not tall. You want to see how deep the 60-inch, you know, Challenger 15 is on us? There you go. So I'm totally flat-footed right now. I am 5'8".
Actually, this is a good segue into how the swim spa reduces impact on your muscles and your joints and why it's really good for injury recovery and, you know, therapy for surgery and things like that, you know, a lot of people are using the swim spa for. So if you are submerged up to your waist, you're reducing the, you know, gravitational impact by 50%. If you are mid-chest, like about where Ben is when he's standing in the swim spa, you're reducing, you know, the gravitational impact by about 70%. And if you're like me and you're all the way up to your neck, it's a 90% impact on reduction on your joints and muscles. So the deeper that you can get in the water, the least amount of impact it's going to have on your joints and muscles, which is really great for decreasing pain when exercising from when you're exercising to improve injury or
that's actually why it works.
Right.
It's that reduction of gravity. Excuse me. That is the reason, you know, exercising and rehabbing in the water actually works.
And the water provides really great resistance, so you are still getting the benefit of the exercise in the water.
That's right.
And
do you remember how many times dense?
How many times
Chris
dense?
used to say it all the time.
Oh no, I don't.
700 times.
Wow.
Water 700 times more dense than air. So if you're just moving.
Oh, I see.
If you're just moving your arm like this, it's not like moving it in the air. You're getting resistance in there. Okay, and then we're going to talk about a lot of these exercises. We picked some of our favorites today.
And because you're working out in water and the pain is reduced, you're more likely to be willing to do the exercise because you're not in pain like you might be on land. So water therapy is really beneficial. And then just in addition, in a swim spa, you've got the awesome jets that are there for relaxation and they just feel good on your muscles after exercising. So
one other thing I wanted to mention, we keep having a lot of people send inquiries in. They want the biggest one because they're replacing a pool. You can't get a pool right now. You can't do anything right now, so they want the biggest one. This is a 15-foot Challenger. It's very big. You know, if you get an idea, there's two of us in here. I mean, and I'm moving the whole entire time. The camera doesn't do it justice. There's still a lot more space. You can fit a lot of people in here. So if you go to this back corner and Mary's in that far corner, we're really far away from each other. You're nowhere near. It's big. People, when they see it in person, they're always surprised at how large it is. The 15-footer and even the 12-footer, there's more space in there than people often imagine. Yeah. So don't think you need to go 18, 19 to get enough space to do this stuff in. This is a 15, and it's way bigger than you know, we're both kind of small. It's way bigger than we need to stretch out in it. Okay? Yeah. So body weight stretching. I want to talk about the stretching and the temperature. So anyone who's had chronic pain, or has chronic pain, you know, it's very difficult to stretch. It's very difficult to warm up. It's very difficult to exercise. It's very difficult to rehab on dry land because of that pain. Mm-hmm. And after a while, it will have some type of mental effect on you. It should. Stress and anxiety, it's very normal. So you'll have, you know, people who are in constant pain, they should also be sort of a grouch because it's uncomfortable all the time. Yeah. And we understand that, and we have so much content written on pain management with water therapy. There's so much stuff out there. Stress relief, it hits all those components. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was even the temperature selection is absolutely huge for this. Absolutely. Right, you know where I'm going. Yep. So your muscles, tendons, ligaments, so think about it this way. Every day we get older, your muscles are strong. Your muscles, they're fine. You know, unless you're deteriorating away and sitting on the couch for 60 years, then you deserve it. You heard it here first. So, but your ligaments and your tendons are becoming more brittle, you know, every day past 25 years old. So that's the problem. So as we're aging, we lose this margin for error, and the water is the equalizer. The water is the correction that we all need as we're getting older. So, like for example, even, you know, I'm 45 and I tore my bicep last October. Not a full, I didn't need surgery, but I tore some of it. So when after a little while, we kind of let it sit for a second, and then we started rehabbing it. I did it in the water, and there's nothing like it. So, but beyond the exercise and the movement and the safety net that the water provides with the reduction of gravity, because you're more buoyant in the water, now you have the temperature aspect to it. So some of the things that if you look at swimmers swim in cold water. That's different. They're putting out an immense amount of energy. They need to keep their temperature down. But when you go to a water rehab or aquatherapy, rehabilitation type situation or center, you'll see that water is like 91 to 93, 92. 92 degrees is the temperature of the surface of our skin. So that's sort of the goal there, but that's where your muscles and your ligaments and your tendons are most pliable, and you're also most, not likely to get injured in that temp range.
Right. So
if you're stretching, and all of us are getting tighter. I mean, I'm sitting here going, this morning I stretched my hamstrings and it was brutal. They were super tight. So now I'm in 91 degree water. Now is the time to stretch them. You don't want to stretch cold muscles, you want to stretch warm muscles. So all the stuff we're talking about doing today, it would be fine. If you did it out on dry land, it would still work terrific. And you were being careful. You do it in the water at 85 degrees, it's even better. And if you do it in the water at 91 degrees, it's even better. So the more we use that temperature range correctly to maintain and safeguard our bodies and make sure that we're not getting worse or injuring something further, is better. Does that make sense? So there's going to be a bunch of questions on here on that stuff, and good, we'll answer them. So the temperature is critical, and when people come in, typically, it's not 25-year-old kids who are buying swim spas. They typically can't buy swim spas. We don't see that very often. But the people who can buy swim spas, well, not only did they bring their age into the equation, they also brought some injuries into the equation.
Right.
And that's what we're mostly addressing today. So we see lots of it, lots of experience with it, all sorts of things. All right. Is 91 too warm for when you were swimming? Not marathon swimming, just swimming? It probably is. If you were swimming gentle, I mean, we have accidentally left it turned up before and swam, and it
gets really hot quickly.
Yeah, I feel my cheeks get red.
Yeah.
You can feel your cheeks getting red, and you're getting flushed, and you need to be careful.
But even dropping it down to 89 makes a difference.
Oh yeah.
You'll feel those 2 degrees, and if you're swimming very lightly, 89 would probably be okay.
What's your favorite temperature?
To swim in?
Are you afraid to say?
I like to swim in 88, 89.
So we've been keeping it at 87 because at 88, 89, and Mary's swimming quite a bit harder these days. So we toned it down to 87 a little bit. So it's right in there. But neither one of us really wants to get in cold water anymore at this stage of our lives.
Right, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it's not happening.
But I hate cold water, and swimming in 91 is pretty uncomfortable.
You actually look like you're cold now.
I'm not warm.
It's 91 in here. She's cold. My
We're
God.
not doing anything.
It's 91 degrees. It's 91. God. All right, so let's get started. You want to get started?
Yeah, let's get started with some exercises.
All right, what do you want to do?
Why don't we start with some stretching?
Go ahead.
So some easy stretches to do in the swim spa are some hamstring stretches where you can put your foot on one of the steps or even on one of the seats. I'm trying to make this so that you can actually see it. I think in the video you can. And just lean into it until you feel that stretch in your hamstring. So basically I just have my right foot up on one of the steps walking down into the swim spa, and I'm leaning forward towards my foot, and I'm just waiting until I feel that hamstring stretch and hold it there for 10 seconds or so, and then I would just switch to the other side.
I feel it immediately.
I do too. My legs are pretty tight right now.
My hamstrings are bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
All bad. I've been bad. I can admit it.
I'm not very good at stretching either.
And I did this morning.
And then you can also do your quads by just standing flat. And I like to hold on to the handle just to get my balance here, and just I bring up my leg, my knee, and hold the back of my foot, or I should say the front of my foot behind me. I don't think you can see it. Think you can see it?
I think you can see mine.
Okay.
So stand there, bring your heel up to your butt,
Yep.
grab your ankle, and then pull your heel into your butt, just like that. So my heel is actually making contact
Yep.
with my tush. All right?
And then you can do the other side.
Yeah. If you want to do a little balance at the same time, don't hold on. All those little corrections, all those little muscles, all stabilizers. It's funny, my hamstrings are always terribly tight and my quads are always like
Which
super,
feels good,
super
yeah.
loose, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem with the quads. Hamstrings?
Yep.
Bad boy.
And then you can bring your leg up and grab your ankle in front of you for some hip stretching. And then do the other side.
I need another second on this side.
Yep.
I got all kinds of little pops and
And then there's some good stretching that you could do just even with some lunges that Ben can show
Yep.
you.
So on the lunge in here, now keep in mind, we're not trying to wear you out, okay? You can be worn out in a swim spa. Everyone knows the story with Dr. Rick McAvoy. He wore me out, and I'm supposed to be this tough Ironman Marine. He kicked my butt, no question about it. So you can be worn out in a swim spa. Today we're talking gentle, all right? So in here, you've got all kinds of steps here, all different heights, so you can do them to whatever level you want. Right now, my foot is on this, if you can see right directly below my finger, that's the seat for the rowing. And then there's another step below that where your feet go when you're rowing. That's where my feet are, okay? Or my front foot, my right foot. So if you drop down, one lunge, you can either stay in the water or you can come up high, you can do whichever, all right? So you can take it as much as you need to, high as you need to. You can keep it easy, go up and down, nice and gentle. If you have a knee issue, you don't want to go all the way up out of the water because then you're putting on pressure that you don't want. Switch feet, you can stretch it down. Now this is where this unit is, this is the 60-inch height. You know, Mary and I are both short. So for us, this water's deep. If you were 6'5", this step, you know, would be probably better, actually. So, you know, the shallower depth may actually be more appropriate for us. So you can lunge right on the step. So you can't really see that, but my knee is forward at 90 degrees and I'm coming down just like that. I think you can see my legs there. So what you don't want to do is bring your feet too close together. That's not a lunge. Spread front foot out, back foot back, switch sides. I got a mouthful of water there. All right.
And
So-
if anyone has one of our master spas, swim spas, all of these exercises we took right out of the book. So
We figured rather than get fancy,
right.
use what we know you're going to have. Now, when I do legs in here, I use the high step and I hold onto the handle, and then I'll come up really high out of the water so I get the full pressure, and they are very hard. So if you're more advanced or you're not fighting an injury, there are plenty of things to do. But today we want to talk about basics and injury prevention and rehab. All right. Which one's next?
Some exercises that you can do that are low impact to help with injury prevention include walking against the current or even keeping the current very low and walking in place. You can also walk, you know, if I start here, I'm going to put my back to you, but if I start here and walk forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then walk backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a good exercise. I even had to push pretty hard against the current right now. It's just on one pump is on low speed and it's providing enough resistance to give me good exercise. So I could even turn that off and have less resistance and do those same forward and backwards. Or we've shown this in many videos before, is just walking or running in place against that current and really doing high knees or butt kicks. And that's a little bit more advanced as you're getting better with your injury or improving in your rehab. And so those are a few different levels of walking or running against the current.
Now, something that you need to pay attention to is, so the water is up to here on Mary, so that's a 90% reduction in her impact on her lower body. That tiny little bit amount of current is enough to push her around. She has no footing, so she's working the strangest muscles to even be stable in water that's here, where it's like being on the moon for her.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm 70%, so I was kind of playing with some of the exercises we did today, and we're going to show you on the boxing one with the dumbbells. When I move my arms with the dumbbells, it throws my body around because I'm not tall enough to stabilize. That's the good stuff. That's what we're looking for here. It's those strange muscles where they get things done in a way that we can't replicate on dry land. That's why this is working, okay? So some of the things, and one of the things, I want to show one more stretch, that piriformis stretch. When I run in place in here, I actually use my hands at the same time. So I'll run and I'll go high knees, and then I'll use my hands at the same time, and I can get my heart rate up really, really high, and I'm working all different parts of the body. I'm not just running, I'm also working my shoulders, and when I do that fast, my shoulders are on fire, they're burning. All right, it's a nice way to do it. So one of the other stretches, and I'm gonna have to turn my back to you now, you've got me. Yeah.
I know.
So is the piriformis stretch. So the piriformis is a muscle, it's in your butt. A lot of people have injured it related to sciatica, where it's a nice stretch to do in here. So what you end up doing, you know when you sit like for dinner or wherever on the couch, you cross your legs? So that's exactly what you do. So sit in the rowing seat and cross your legs like I was a gentleman. And then you want to pull, you have to stabilize yourself. And then my right leg is over my left. So I'm pulling my right knee that way to stretch that. And then you'll feel it kind of in the center of your tush. And that's the piriformis stretch, and it works really well in here. The other thing you can do is kind of take,
I know you can't see that at all, but
if you cross your legs and then kind of take your left hand, so my right leg this is going to be confusing.
I know.
So right now you can see my right leg is crossed over my left. My left hand on my right leg pulling that way, and I can put my other hand on my other knee and pull even more and deepen that stretch, and I'm able to balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I can feel that right in the center of my butt. That's your piriformis. Do both sides, and it's a stretch that's a little bit more difficult to do on dry land, and you can just find that spot where you feel it without putting too much pressure on. It works really, really well. Okay, so that's a favorite of mine. All the hip stuff. As you're getting older, all that stuff is tighter and tighter and tighter. If you're a runner, all that stuff is important. You know, all those muscles need to stay loose. Nobody stretches enough. Very few people. Our pros do a great job. They're pros. It's their job to stay fit and stay healthy. So they're really good at it, and they're dedicated like nobody's business. So what do you got next?
We're going to talk a little bit now about muscle activation, and especially I'm going to do some lower body muscle activation, and then Ben's going to do some upper body muscle activation. So one of the things that you can do in the swim spa is just really simple leg raises. And so you can start with, your hand on the side of the swim spa or on the handle, and literally just raise your leg straight up. I'm just lifting up straight from the bottom of the swim spa, straight up 90 degrees, and then do the opposite leg. And you can also do leg raises to the side. These are all just really great muscle activation for your hips, for your legs and for your lower back. I'm going to switch to this side so I can do this side. Lift my other leg to the side.
I feel all that crunchy stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. These are
We should
all,
be doing this so much more often.
It's true. These are all basic movements that nobody's doing enough of, and this is general mobility and health, and keeping these muscles loose and activating properly. And everybody, everyone, us included, and we're in here every single day. This is our place. We're in here every day. We can do any of this stuff, and it's still so easy to overlook. It's so easy to let it slip out of your, program.
But these are really gentle exercises that could help you if you're recovering from an injury, rehabbing from an injury.
Absolutely.
That can help you to start moving again.
Yep.
So we just did straight leg raises to the front and to the side. Now you can lift your knee so that your bottom half of your leg is 90 degrees, and then kick out forward, kick out forward, right? And then you can also rotate your hips. This is a good hip rotation exercise where you just keep your leg bent and turn out. These aren't really super easy to explain, and I hope you can all see the video enough so that you understand what we're doing. I'm going to go over here and do the other side. So forward kicks on the other side with my knee bent, and then kicking out forward. And obviously you should do more than just what we're doing, but we only have so much time. And then rotating the hip out to the side. And again, these are just really good muscle activation for your legs, for your hips, for your lower back.
So we had two questions that I saw pop up. Someone asked, did you say that the exercise book comes with it? Yes, it absolutely does.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. So the book does absolutely comes with it. And then someone already asked, I haven't gotten there yet. Don't skip ahead. Eyes on your own paper where they're supposed to be. How this was attached. So there's a little strap that I wrapped around, and then it's a clip. So I clipped it right on there. So some of the exercises I want to do, I wanted to use that, so that was how I set that up. But it comes, so the H2 exercise program, the book, all that stuff comes with each swim spa that Master Spas produces. It's not an add-on, okay? So it's included. Used to be back in the day, it was something that added on for years now. It's included. Actually, I'm going to do some customer service here for all dealers and Master Spas. When you think that they forgot it, it's probably inside the cabinet. They didn't. Okay, so you don't have to go crazy saying they forgot your exercise package. It's inside the swim spa. They leave with it. Okay, so now, and then did I get both questions? Exercise book comes with and the band.
And the band.
My turn.
Yep.
All right, you want to do side step?
Sure. One of the things I just showed before was walking forward and then walking backwards. Another really common aquatherapy exercise is sidestepping. And so this is going to be challenging but because the current is on, but basically I'm just facing the wall to the side, and I'm going to step wide and then meet my other leg. Get to the end and then go back.
Go right in the middle. Oops. Sorry.
So just big wide steps to the side and then to the other side. Against the current for a little bit more resistance, or beginner, or just beginning rehab, no resistance.
So crunchy and yucky inside. My hips are crunchier than I want them to be. All right, this is good stuff. And even people who appear fit may not be fit in this way. These are all things that everyone can stand to do. And some of your high-end athletes pro level, they understand that they need to do it, but amateur athletes who are not, they look like they're very, very fit, and they are. This is some of the things that we often forget. Okay, so definitely employ it, and it works. And if you start doing it, you're going to hear and feel little pops and creaks and cracks that are not supposed to be there. That means you're not doing it enough. All right. So next one. This is the one I was talking about. It's the boxing, and in the book, they've got you walking and boxing at the same time. So you're boxing back and forth. All right. So I'll do it walking. Now I'm short, so right there I'm flat-footed, and I can't walk flat-footed. I have to kind of squat down a little bit. So as I'm doing this, I can barely walk because it's enough force to pull me backwards. So my feet are having trouble finding, proper footing. So you can't believe how strange this exercise is and how many different muscles it uses. You can push down on an angle. These dumbbells are designed to catch water, so they're not the little floaty ones. This is something that we've got. It's ours. We've got the patent on these, all right? And I'm moving a lot of muscles. I mean, I can't even talk at the same time because I'm getting out of breath. But these are amazing. They catch that water. To move that through the water, it requires a lot of force, a lot more than people think. So all those dumbbell exercises, they're fantastic. These dumbbells are amazing. When I rehabbed my bicep, this is what I used, and only a little bit of bands. It was these. Now.
And we've shown other exercises with the dumbbells. You can just do regular dumbbell curls, hammer curls, and...
I'm a little out of breath. It's amazing. So, next exercise is for rotator cuff. Probably one of the most common injuries. Everyone has either a partial tear or injured or something on their rotator cuff, bursitis. All this stuff happens to our shoulders. There's a question that just popped up there if you want to go take a peek at it. All right. So you've got inner and outer rotator cuff. So I should have hooked this on the side. You know what? Maybe I will.
At some point, would you mind putting the swim pumps on so we can hear how quiet they are? You guys are doing great. Sure, we can do that.
Okay. So inner, right now, I'm going to turn and show you, this is the placement of my hand. It's my elbow is tucked on the side and my hand is straight out. So I'm just putting tension on this, okay? So now it's loose, just starting the tension. So I'm going from straight and I'm bringing it in, but I'm not moving my elbow out here. My elbow is locked, okay? So the pivot point is the rotator cuff. The elbow is locked in place, all right? So I'm going in. Now this one, because it's a band, you're getting it on both sides. This is rotator cuff, okay? This is inner. Do that 25 times, 30 times if you have a rotator injury, or even if you don't, just to keep them fit. All right, this is the first thing. If you go to therapy for a rotator cuff, this is the first thing they're going to have you do. Sometimes they'll have you lay on a table with a little dumbbell, and now I'm going to. So then you keep the band in the same place. You just turn around. So now, this is my position. My arm is across my body. Elbow is tight. So now what you see when you see people do this at the gym on their own, you see them flail their elbow out. They're doing this. That's not what we're doing here. So my elbow is tucked. Elbow is not moving at all, okay? That's outer. So then when you do these, there's no exercise at the gym besides these that touches your rotator cuff in a meaningful way. Every exercise you do at the gym only hurts your rotator cuff. Fair to say?
Yeah.
So if you want to maintain that strength and longevity of that joint, this is something that's huge. And if you've injured it, maybe not a full thickness tear. If you have a full thickness tear in your rotator cuff, you're probably going to have surgery. But partial tears can be rehabbed. Injuries can be rehabbed. And what's interesting is right now I'm doing these. I can actually feel it in my groin on my right leg because I'm stabilizing myself. All these weird little muscles from the water. I don't even.
Yeah.
I've never worked whatever that is. Come back. You can do both arms. That's how you do rotator cuff. Very, very good exercise, okay? Very important for injuring probably one of the most common injuries there is.
Yeah.
All right, so I got one more. The core twist with the band. So I hooked up a single band. It comes with multiple bands. The rowing kit has a band, has short bands on it, so you could use the short band from where it is, disconnect that. Actually, you got a handle right there. Can you grab that?
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, I can show you. So right now, speaking of rotator cuffs, you've got this rowing kit. The band is already there. I'm going to drop the bar. Just need the handle.
Oh. Thank you.
Now I've got it right here. It's a little harder because it's shorter. Same thing. Okay? You can do that multiple ways. There's little connections all over the place. Here you go. Thank you.
Yep.
And this is all they do. They all clip together. All right? So, now, this one I'm going to have to turn my back to you again. This is the last one, but I really like this one. So, this is a core twist. So if you can see that band right now, there's slack on it. I've just got it tight right now. I'm in like a sumo position, so I'm squatting down a little bit, and then I have to stabilize. So you have to stabilize yourself and twist at the same time. So you're using a lot of funky muscles. So now I'm feeling my hips, I'm feeling my quad, I'm feeling some of my hamstrings, my core, and then I'm coming back, I'm leaning back a little bit.
You gotta feel it in your back too, right?
I feel
Like
a
low
little-
back, yeah.
Yep, low back. So all these really strange little muscles. And this is strengthening your low back, some of your legs, your hips, core, and this is all.
I like that.
I do too. I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
So I'm almost, you can't really tell, I'm almost leaning back like I was water skiing.
Yeah.
And then my legs are bent, my knees are bent probably like that much.
Actually, your whole body is in almost like a water skiing position.
Yeah, other than my
Yeah.
feet are wider, it is.
Right, yeah.
You want to try that one?
Sure.
You try it. Actually, I'm curious how it is with your height. Let's see.
It's hard to
Stabilize.
stabilize, yeah.
It's pulling you back out of the water.
I don't know if I can.
She might be too little for that one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A little bit. I do like it though.
I do too.
Let's turn those swim jets on so that you can hear the lack of sound. It's not very loud at all.
You want me to do it from here? You go.
I got it.
What do you have on there?
Everything. So that's the pump one on high and the VSP's.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh boy.
Started pulling me back out that way.
So that's the sound of the jets, all swim jets on right now.
So if you see, leave that on for 1 second.
Yep.
That water comes right down the center and then comes back and then breaks around both sides. So I was sitting in that chair and it started to pull me. If you stand right here, it starts pulling you back this way. That's the return to the water. So you can see that path. It goes down the center, breaks equally, and then comes back. Actually, there's a point in there. If a swim spa, any swim spa, has different seats in the back, like if you see a swim spa with a lounge on one side and then chair on this side or whatever, it doesn't swim correctly. It can't. The water has to return at the same rate. Okay, that means they just don't know what they're doing. All right, what do we got here? These are,
Yeah.
all right. So this is,
That's the big long question.
you want to start with those?
Yeah.
I'll say this is one person's question.
Yes.
She's got a lot to ask.
This is a good question from Keith in Washington. How can I best get strength in my legs after a long period of inactivity? So many of the exercises that we showed today in the live would be great for you to get those legs working, activate the muscles in your legs, walking against the current, even doing those really simple 5 steps forward, 5 steps backwards without the current, or the side steps forward and back, or one way or the other way. But those are some really great exercises that you can start to get that muscle activated in your legs after not using them for a while. And then as you're getting stronger, add more resistance, do some of those lunges that Ben was showing. There's a wide variety of lower body exercises that you can do to help strengthen your legs after you haven't used them in a while. So thank you for that question. The next question that I have is from Joe Marie in Florida. Is installation cost included? So for most of the dealers throughout the country, delivery and placement in your yard is included. Most dealers don't have a crane, so if you need a crane, that would not be included. You need to have a foundation prepared for the swim spa ahead of time. Most of our dealers are not contractors, so they would not be able to do that, although some are, so you would just contact your local dealer to find out if they can do the site prep. And then you have to have an electrician wired in, and you fill it with your hose. So the electrician is not included in the cost of the swim spa. This is from Richard in Maryland. Is a cover an option or is it standard? So we actually have 2 different types of covers. The standard cover is a snow load locking safety cover. It is basically like 2 big hot tub covers that meet in the middle for the swim spas, or for the hot tubs it's just one piece and it folds in half. That is included in the cost of the swim spa. We have an optional roll cover that is not included. It's an additional cost. And which energy source is used to heat the water? It is electrical. Most of the swim spas are going to require 220 volts with a designated 50 amp breaker. How to keep up my bromine levels, and this is from Laura in Oklahoma. So Laura, if you're testing in the morning to check for your bromine levels to see that they're there, they probably aren't there because our EcoPure mineral filtration system.
So does she mean bromine, or is she talking about chlorine? Because there's 2.
Well, she asked about bromine in the question.
So actually, we need a little more information. If you're talking about using bromine instead of chlorine, then you're not supposed to run the EcoPure filters.
Okay.
So that one, reach out after and maybe speak with your dealer. If you're running bromine and you have the EcoPure filters and you're having an issue, that's your issue. Okay, because the EcoPure is really designed around chlorine. So I'm not sure if she means.
So if you were talking about chlorine,
right,
then the EcoPure actually dissipates the chlorine, so you're going to have very low levels of it. But you may want to reach out to your dealer if you're using bromine, and that might be a different question. So yeah, those are my questions.
Okay. That's
very interested
That's
person.
from one person. Okay. Sandra, Illinois. What type of winterization needs to be done to swim spa if we don't plan on using it in the winter? Okay, so to properly winterize a swim spa, it's just like an RV. You need to get every drop of that water out. I've seen some dealers make sure that every bit of water was out, and I've seen some use antifreeze. From Master Spas, when we ship, if it's desired by the dealer in the wintertime, we actually ship it with antifreeze in it,
yep,
which you need to know because that needs to be taken out before you fill it. All right, so it has caused that issue before when people weren't sure that it had there. But our colder climates, some of those dealers have them shipped with, because we wet test everything. So there's water in there, so then they flush that, put antifreeze in there, and ship like that to guarantee there's no problems. So I personally, I don't really recommend winterizing it because it's way more efficient than people think. they kind of have that thought in the beginning.
Right, yeah.
And then when they see how efficient it is in real life, they're like, hey, wait a second, I can use it. The whole claim to fame is that we're year round. All right, so I don't really recommend doing that personally. That's not Master Spa's take. That's me personally. So use it year round. That's what it's for. If you're using it for exercise and you only run it 9 months out of the year, what are you doing for exercise those other 3 months? So we want you in there, and it works fantastically in the winter, so get in there. All right, here we go. A question, I'm not sure, there's 8 questions. So here's number 1 on the list. I've been told by a friend who personally tested a couple of swim spas that the force of the water bubbled, splashed up into her face in an unwelcome and annoying way. I do not know which brands of swim spas she tried out. Can you demonstrate with a swimmer in the water how your swim spas compare? So what I'm guessing, a swim spa is a box of moving water. Okay, so if you take the highest quality propulsion swim spa and crank it all the way up, we've got one, you know, our XP Pro moves like 2,100 gallons of water a minute. It's splashing your face. It's 2,100 gallons of water a minute.
Right.
But a swimmer who's cranking at full speed, full pressure sprints, they can swim in that. They don't care. So it could have been something that was too powerful for her, or it could have been a jetted swim spa with air, and she didn't like the air blasting in her face.
Right.
So, for example, this is a Challenger. This is the one that we made for Ironman. It's got a beautiful, you saw when we turned that current on, it's wide and gorgeous. So you don't have to crank it all up, concentrated in your face. So I don't know what we're comparing to. All I can say is that our very, very most powerful swim spas, they're moving so much water that if you weren't a swimmer, it would be unpleasant to stand in that. It's moving an incredible amount of water. They're very powerful. But on the other hand, this Challenger, the quality of swim in the Challenger can be dialed all the way down. There's no air in there, and so can the Michael Phelps. Yeah. Actually, so don't let me, you know, the Michael Phelps is capable of great power and strength. It can also be turned all the way down. It's got 100 increments of speed, and then the Challenger also has 25 digital, you know, increments of speed. But the H2X is probably our jetted swim spa. I don't know what she tested, but maybe she didn't like the regular jetted swim spa. So maybe head in another direction.
We also have a video, a previous Facebook Live video, where we show each different type of swim spa that we have, and we show the current on in each one of those. So if you go back and look at one of those videos, we also have many videos.
Which swim spa is right for you? Which swim spa is right for you?
And we also have many videos that we show swimmers actually swimming in the swim spa too. So.
Yep, absolutely. So Master has 3 different types of current. You have jetted with air, jetted without air, and then propulsion, of course. Okay, so it's we have by
something
far
for everybody.
the most vast selection. What makes your swim spas and company excel more than other companies and spas? That's a long list, man. First of all, American muscle. Every piece made in America. We're full production. We have the largest facility for producing swim spas in the world. We make the Michael Phelps. We're the official swim spa for Ironman. The insulation is better. The cabinet is better. The components are non-proprietary. We still hand roll all the fiberglass. Let me count the ways. I mean, it's dozens of ways that we are different.
Absolutely,
the swept wall swims better. You know, everyone always says, no, ours swims better, and then they have a tether that comes, you know, standard with it. Swim spa comes standard with a tether, turn the other way. All right, straight walls, the water bounces around in there. All right, so these are companies that say theirs is the best, but you know, sort of ask yourself this: if we weren't doing something right, would we have earned the Michael Phelps contract? Of course we wouldn't. You know, they won't slap that name on there. You better walk the walk before they put that name on there, and we did. All right. What quality, mechanics, benefits, and features makes the Michael Phelps Signature Spa different from your H2X spa? Very simple. Same level of quality. The Michael Phelps is propulsion. It's a prop. So you only have moving water. There's no air in it. The H2X line, traditionally before this bad boy, was air. Hey, Summer Gilliam, my daughter. Hi, baby. So you have a prop in there moving 100% water in the Michael Phelps, and then the H2X is injected with air. So it's a water pump, and then we inject air into it. And then what really messed up the whole entire thing was this Challenger is airless, 3 pumps, airless, super wide swim path, it kind of messed everything up because no one thought that a jetted swim spa could swim at a quality that's just insane like this one is. So the difference is just the type of propulsion between the Phelps, the H2X Challenger, and the H2X Trainer. The way in which we move the water for you to swim in is the difference. The speed is the difference.
Right.
There's no difference in components, no difference in
quality. Manufacturing.
It's just well, I guess there is technically different in components because the Phelps has different type of prop and motor, whereas the Challenger, H2X,
pumps.
and the Trainer have pumps. Okay, so but essentially the difference is how fast they swim. Please discuss pricing for the products you show as well as how additional features affect pricing. So I'm going to address this. I'm not going to give numbers because we have 16 different models. So I can't discuss pricing because I have no idea what you want. So we get beat up all the time because the prices aren't there. There's so many variables that it's impossible for us to do that. It's not like we don't want to tell people how much products are. So I'm actually going to take a minute to address this. We get punched in the mouth a lot for this, and I'm going to punch back today. I don't know where you live. I don't know what your driveway looks like. I don't know if we need a crane. I don't know which of the 16 models you want. If you want soft tread, if a Michael Phelps signature is overkill for you, I don't know all of those things. So it's impossible for me to say $36,892 plus tax.
Right.
I can't say that. I have no idea. I have, when we price one of these for someone, there's 12 questions. Okay, so don't beat us up. There'll be on this live, there'll be 100 comments. 10 of them, how much is it? How much is what?
Yeah.
So it's kind of silly the way it works. There's a fly buzzing around. That's like calling a car dealership. So there's a Chevy dealership a few miles that way. Hey, how much for a car? Really impossible for them to answer that. Okay, it's just as impossible. So all I can tell you is that most swim spas they're going to start around $18,000 for something of quality, and the most expensive one I've personally seen was like $49,000. So call it 20 to 50. There's so many variables in there that control where that ends up costing you. Okay, types of installs. We've got a dealer that does vaults for people. The vault adds $10,000 to $15,000.
Features, optional features that you want.
The roll cover is an add-on. The roll cover is thousands of dollars. It's like $4,000 or something. It's very expensive. Okay, so these things are all components. All right, different stereo package, Wi-Fi. You can add all that stuff, and it just you can get crazy with it. All right, so impossible for us to ask or answer that when someone just says how much. We get emails all the time. How much? How much for what? So we can't even respond to those. So I guess in short, take some time to look around, go through the website, kind of pick a model and give us some
more
direction.
Specifics, yeah.
And then of course you have your location, where your dealer is located. Shipping costs are different from Indiana to Alaska. All right. So for an above ground installation, what happens after the swim spa is installed when the ground below it has shifted or becomes less stable and the spa is no longer level? How is that handled? So that if your area was prepped properly, that shouldn't really happen too much. Happens occasionally, but that is a concern of the homeowner. It's not a concern of something that we did in manufacturing or production. Okay.
And I was just say that's really why the concrete pad is the ultimate.
Is the ultimate choice? Is the ultimate recommendation?
A 6-inch.
There tends to not be issues with it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I will say this. So I'm not saying that we're not going to help. I'm just saying that's not our fault. Okay, we get blamed for everything, but that one's not our fault. So what's going to happen is you're going to call your dealer. They're going to need to remove the swim spa for you, and then whatever repairs have to take place, and then they reinstall. Okay, so that's it. I have not really encountered that.
No.
Maybe once, and it was not a cement pad, so the swim spa had to be moved and then repaired, the area prepped and repaired and then put back. So, but never saw it on cement. Let's see. What kind of servicing guarantees do we have as an owner? While researching swim spas, I've read many reviews and there are several that are complaints about lack of timely and efficient service, as well as some from the people that purchased the swim spa. The spa system did not work properly after installed, and it's a couple months later and they're still waiting on repairs. Customer service is concerned. That's sort of a dealer concern or issue. So we're a dealer-based company. Master Spas is always going to back them up, of course. So you can always call customer service. Our customer service team is
at Master Spas directly
right.
is amazing.
And
they
are amazing.
So knowledgeable.
They're amazing. Yeah, they really are. I'll tell you what. When we have questions, I won't give his name. I won't say his name because everyone's going to call.
Yeah.
But I will call him, and he's in customer service. This guy's knowledge is vast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the other things is we talk to customers about this all the time. We're a huge company overall and deal with so many different customers, and unfortunately there are going to be bad reviews, just like BMW or Mercedes has bad reviews.
No, BMW is the ultimate driving machine.
Right. But it's just that, there are always going to be people who put bad reviews, and there's going to be people who put great reviews. That's what happens when you have a large, successful company. So
true. And as Kevin says, they're made in Fort Wayne, not in heaven. So
right.
we do have bumps in the road sometimes, and we will address them. I will tell you this: when Master Spas is aware of a problem, they don't stop until it's right, and satisfaction is had. Period. So I can tell you that. As far as dealers go, we've had dealers, just like any other business that has dealers, go in and out, and Master Spas always makes it right. Mm-hmm. So they're really fantastic. Our warranty is stellar, by the way, so you're in good hands. Assuming we purchase one years or decades down the road when we wish to remove the swim spa, how is that accomplished? I ask this question because of reading about the use of a crane to install it. I would like to be aware of the process and how it's removed. Please cover removal and relocation information, as well as complete removal to dispose of the swim spa. Okay, so if you move to another house and you want it taken with you, typically you would call your dealer and they would remove it, put it on a trailer, and take it over to the new place and reinstall it. That's not a problem. We do it all the time. If you need a crane, then you're responsible for that crane charge. Master's dealerships are not responsible for your crane, or moving situation. That's on you. So, if you need a crane to install it, then make sure, you know what you're doing, and when it's time to either move or remove it. I mean, I've not seen one of these wear out. I've been around 10 years now. I can't believe that. And I have not seen one, the swim spa, hey, we're done with it, take it away and, smush it. So we don't see them used. We don't see them very rarely. I have not seen one disposed of because it was done with. So it's a long time down the road. I mean, we expect 20 years, 25 years out of these things if taken care of properly, for sure. We certainly build to that level, especially with the acrylic preparation that we do. So anything that you do to install it that you're responsible for, you would also be responsible for removing. Most dealerships, if you just said, hey, you know what, get rid of it for me, I don't know, I can't answer for those dealers what they're going to charge. They're going to charge something to come and take it away. Let's say it was 18 years down the road, they're going to charge something to come take it away and dispose of it. But we have had dealers take away old, other brands.
Other brands.
Actually, there was one. I won't name names because I'm not sure I'm allowed to do that. There's a company. There was a 3-year-old swim spa that had acrylic failure, and the dealer took it and disposed of it, and I'm sure they crushed it up and took it to the dump. So, but anyway, that's it. So we went long today.
Yeah, way over.
All right. Questions? Pop them on there. I'm not going to drag this out because we went a long time today, and I hope I answered everything. We will be back in the comments later and get to any questions that we didn't. I know I saw a few rolling up at a time, and we'll go from there. But we'll be back on later, so if you have more questions, put them in.
And we will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, every other.
On Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Eastern.
Yep.
Right here. Be there.
Have a good week.
Take care.